The rain pounded against the windows of our suburban Chicago home that fateful evening, the kind of storm that seemed to mirror the chaos brewing inside me. I was 18, fresh out of high school, and staring down the barrel of a future I couldn't quite grasp, especially after overhearing my mom and her husband, my stepdad Santos, arguing about my lifestyle choices. Little did I know, that night would force me to confront not just my own hidden truths, but the tangled web of family secrets that had been unraveling for years. My name is Jordan Hayes, and growing up in a middle-class neighborhood in the Windy City wasn't exactly a fairy tale. My biological dad split when I was 5, leaving Mom to raise me alone until she met Santos at a community theater group 7 years later. Santos was everything Dad wasn't. Kind, attentive, and openly gay. Yeah, that last part raised eyebrows in our conservative suburb, where church picnics and backyard barbecues came with a side of subtle judgment. Mom, a progressive elementary school teacher, didn't care about the whispers. She loved Santos for his gentle spirit and the way he made her laugh after years of loneliness. They married when I was 12, and Santos became the father figure I'd always craved. He taught me how to ride a bike without training wheels, helped with my homework, and even coached my little league team. But as I hit my teens, things got complicated. I started noticing boys in a way that scared me. At school, I'd catch myself staring at Jake, the star quarterback, or feeling a rush when our hands brushed during gym class. I buried it deep, convinced it was a phase, especially with the homophobic slurs thrown around the locker room like casual greetings. Fag this, queer that, it was the norm and I didn't want to be on the receiving end. Santos, being gay himself, might have been the perfect person to talk to, but I couldn't. What if it disappointed Mom? What if it made things weird at home? So I dated girls, joined the football team, and played the part of the all-American straight kid. But the facade was cracking. That stormy night, Mom was out at a teachers' conference in Milwaukee, leaving Santos and me alone. I was in my room, scrolling through my phone, when I heard Santos on a call downstairs. His voice was low, strained. I can't keep pretending, Mark. Jordan needs to know the truth. Mark? Who was Mark? My heart raced as I crept to the top of the stairs, eavesdropping like some guilty spy. Santos continued. He's struggling, just like I did at his age. If I don't tell him about us, about what really happened with his father, he might never forgive me. His father? My biological dad? The pieces didn't fit. I stormed downstairs, my face hot with confusion and anger. What the hell are you talking about, Santos? I demanded, bursting into the kitchen where he sat at the table, phone still in hand. Santos looked up, his blue eyes wide with shock. He was in his mid-40s, with salt and pepper hair and a build that spoke of weekend hikes rather than gym obsessions. Jordan, This isn't how I wanted you to find out. Find out what? I snapped, my voice echoing off the tiled floor. The storm outside raged on, thunder rumbling like an omen. He set the phone down, took a deep breath, and gestured to the chair across from him. Sit down, son. There's a lot you don't know about your family. Reluctantly, I sat, my mind spinning. Santos began unraveling a story that shattered everything I thought I knew. My biological dad, Tom, hadn't just left us. He'd been Santos's high school sweetheart back in the 90s. They grew up in a small Illinois town where being gay meant hiding or facing violence. Tom and Santos had a secret relationship, but societal pressure, family expectations, church doctrines, pushed Tom to marry Mom, who was his best friend and cover. I was born from that union, a product of denial and duty. But Tom couldn't live the lie forever. When I was 5, he confessed to Mom, left for California, and reconnected with Santos years later as friends. Santos, meanwhile, had come out, built a life, and eventually met Mom through mutual friends. She knew the history but kept it buried to protect me. Why tell me now? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Tears stung my eyes, not from sadness, but from the betrayal of secrets kept too long. Because I see myself in you, Jordan, Santos said softly. The way you avoid eye contact with certain friends, the forced dates with girls. You're gay, aren't you? And you're terrified, just like Tom was. The word hung in the air like a bomb. I wanted to deny it, to yell that he was wrong, but the truth clawed its way out. "How did you know?" I choked. Santos reached across the table, his hand steady. "Because I've been there, and because I love you like my own son. But hiding it will destroy you, like it almost destroyed your dad." That night stretched into hours of raw conversation. We talked about the prejudice in our community, the school board fights over LGBTQ books in libraries, the casual bigotry at family gatherings. Santos shared stories of his own coming out. Losing friends, facing job discrimination in his early career as a graphic designer. He spoke of the AIDS crisis that claimed lives of people he knew, and how far society had come, yet how much further it needed to go. I confessed my crushes, my fears of rejection, and the pressure to conform. For the first time, I felt seen, not judged. As the storm subsided, Santos pulled out old photos. Him and Tom as teens, laughing in grainy snapshots. "Your dad regrets not being honest sooner," he said. "He's happy now with a partner in San Francisco. Maybe it's time you met him properly." The idea thrilled and terrified me. But in that moment, I realized Santos wasn't just my stepdad. He was my anchor in a world that often felt hostile to people like us. The next morning, the sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm glow over our kitchen. Mom called, oblivious to the revelations, and I felt a pang of guilt for the secrets we'd now share with her. But something had shifted inside me, a spark of courage. I wasn't alone anymore. Yet, as days turned to weeks, the real conflicts began. Word got out at school. Somehow, a friend I'd confided in let it slip. Suddenly, I was the gay kid with the gay stepdad, fodder for hallway whispers and online trolls. One afternoon, during lunch, a group of guys from the team cornered me. "So, is your family like a rainbow parade now?" One sneered, his buddies laughing. I stood tall, channeling Santos's strength. "Yeah, and it's better than your narrow-minded crap." The words flew out, surprising even me. But the backlash was swift. Anonymous notes in my locker, social media blocks, even a petition from some parents to remove LGBTQ inclusive curriculum, citing our family as influencing students. At home, tensions rose too. Mom supported us, but she worried about my safety. "Chicago's progressive, but suburbs can be brutal," she said one evening over dinner. Santos nodded, but his eyes held a deeper concern. He'd received emails at work, subtle threats from conservative clients questioning his family values. Then came the call from my biological dad, Tom. Santos had reached out and Tom wanted to visit. "I owe you an explanation, Jordan," he said over the phone, his voice thick with emotion. "And I'm proud of you for facing this head-on." The visit was set for a weekend, but as the date approached, doubts crept in. What if Tom was just another disappointment? What if reconnecting opened old wounds for Mom? The airport terminal buzzed with reunions and farewells, but my heart pounded like a drum as I scanned the arrival's gate. Santos stood beside me, his hand on my shoulder, a silent reassurance amid the chaos of O'Hare. When Tom emerged from the crowd, suitcase in tow, time seemed to freeze. He looked older than the photos, graying temples, lines around his eyes, but his smile was warm, familiar in a way that tugged at buried memories. "Jordan," he said, pulling me into a hug that felt both awkward and right. "You've grown into quite the young man." We drove back to the house in Santos's SUV, the conversation light at first: traffic, weather, my college plans. I was heading to the University of Illinois in the fall, majoring in psychology, inspired by the emotional turmoil I'd navigated. But as we settled into the living room, the air grew heavy with unspoken words. Tom cleared his throat. "I left because I couldn't be the husband your mom deserved or the father you needed while living a lie. Santos and we were in love back then, but the world wasn't ready." "Hell, I wasn't ready." Mom, sitting quietly on the couch, nodded. "We agreed to keep it from you until you were older, but life moved on. Santos became family." I glanced at Santos, who met my gaze with quiet pride. "It wasn't easy for any of us," he added. "But here we are, trying to make it right." The weekend unfolded like a therapy session mixed with family bonding. Tom shared stories of his life in San Francisco, the pride parades, the activism, the partner he'd been with for a decade. "Mark's a teacher, like your mom," he said with a chuckle. "We fight for LGBTQ rights in schools. It's why I wanted to come now. Santos told me you're coming out, and I wish I'd had someone like him when I was your age." But not everything was rosy. That evening, over barbecue in the backyard, neighbors glanced over the fence, their stares laced with curiosity or disdain. One, Mrs. Henderson, a staunch churchgoer, even stopped by with concerns about exposing the neighborhood kids to alternative lifestyles. Her words dripped with false politeness, but the implication was clear. We were a threat. "Alternative? It's just love, Karen," Santos retorted calmly, using her name like a weapon. She huffed and left, but the encounter lingered, a reminder of the societal rifts. At school, things escalated. A viral post on the student forum accused me of recruiting others, twisting my friendship with Jake into something scandalous. Jake, who I'd crushed on but never acted upon, distanced himself, fearing the label. "Dude, it's not you, it's the drama," he muttered in the hall. But it hurt, deepening my isolation. One night, I broke down in Santos's study. "Why is it so hard? I just want to be normal." Santos knelt beside me. "Normal is overrated, Jordan. What's hard is the fight, but it's worth it. Look at me, I lost jobs, friends, but gained a family. And you." His words fueled me, but the conflicts mounted. Tom's visit drew media attention when a local blogger outed our story as a modern family twist. Comments flooded in. Supportive voices from the city, hateful rants from rural areas. "Abomination," one read. "Kids need traditional parents." "Mom defended us at a PTA meeting arguing for inclusivity." "My son is brave and so is my husband." If that's controversial, then shame on us all. The high point, or low, depending on the view, came at my graduation. I walked the stage to cheers, but a group of protesters outside held signs. "Protect our children from indoctrination." Santos and Tom stood together, flanking Mom, a united front. It was a statement, one that sparked debates in local papers about blended families and gay parenting. As summer began, I interned at an LGBTQ youth center in downtown Chicago, counseling teens like me. The stories I heard, abuse, rejection, made my struggles seem small. One kid, Miguel, ran away from home after his parents disowned him. "You're lucky," he said. "You have Santos." He was right, but doubts about my choices lingered. Was coming out too soon? Should I have waited for college? College loomed like a promise of freedom, but the summer dragged with unresolved tensions. I spent days at the youth center, where the air smelled of coffee and hope, helping organize support groups. Miguel became a friend, his resilience inspiring me. "My folks are religious," he confided one afternoon. "They think being gay is a sin, but I know it's not." His words echoed my internal battles. Back home, Santos and I had deeper talks about identity, love, and the choices that define us. "Tom chose to leave to find himself," Santos said during a walk in the park. "I chose to stay open, even when it hurt." Tom had returned to California, but we video called weekly. He invited me to visit, promising to show me the vibrant gay community there. "It's not all rainbows, but it's real," he said. Yet reality bit hard when a family reunion rolled around. Mom's extended relatives, conservative Midwesterners, gathered at Aunt Linda's farm outside Peoria. Whispers started the moment we arrived. "So, Santos, how's the lifestyle treating you?" Uncle Bob asked, his tone mocking. Santos smiled politely. "Great, Bob. How's yours?" But when I mentioned my orientation casually during dinner, defending a cousin's right to date whoever, the table erupted. "You're confusing the kids," Aunt Linda snapped. "This isn't natural." I fired back. "Love is natural. Hate isn't." The argument escalated, with Bible verses thrown like grenades. Mom stood by us, but the rift widened. Some relatives cut ties, calling our family broken. Social media amplified it. A post from the reunion went viral in conservative circles, painting us as agenda pushers. Trolls targeted my profiles, spewing vitriol that tested my resolve. "Go back to the closet," one messaged. Santos helped me navigate it. "Block them, but don't hide. Visibility matters." Amid the chaos, a silver lining emerged. Support from unexpected places. Jake reached out, apologizing. "I was scared, man. But you're brave." "Maybe. I am too." His confession led to a tentative friendship, hinting at more, but I treaded carefully, focusing on self-acceptance. Then came the biggest conflict, a local ordinance debate in our suburb. Conservatives pushed to ban pride flags on public property, citing neutrality. Santos, as a community leader, spoke at the town hall. "This isn't neutrality. It's erasure," he argued passionately. I joined him, sharing my story. "I grew up here, afraid to be myself because of attitudes like this. Don't make it harder for the next kid." The room divided. Applause from allies, boos from opponents. The measure passed narrowly, a setback that stung. "We lost this battle," Santos said later, "but the war for equality continues." As I packed for college, emotions swirled. Excitement for new beginnings clashed with fear of leaving my support system. Mom hugged me tight. "You've grown so much, Jordan. Thanks to Santos." He nodded, eyes misty. "That night we talked? It was important for me too. You reminded me why I fight." Urbana-Champaign felt worlds away from the suburbs, with its sprawling campus and diverse student body. I dove into classes, joined the LGBTQ Alliance, and for the first time dated openly a guy named Ryan from my psych class. He was outgoing, with a laugh that lit up rooms, and our relationship blossomed amid late-night study sessions and campus events. But echoes of home followed. News of escalating anti-LGBTQ legislation in other states made me anxious. "Illinois is safe," Ryan assured, but I knew safety was fragile. Back home for Thanksgiving, tensions simmered. The ordinance had sparked protests, and Santos was at the forefront, organizing rallies. "We're appealing," he updated me, but fatigue showed in his eyes. The constant fight wore on him. Then, a bombshell, Tom called, revealing health issues, a heart condition from stress. "Years of hiding took a toll," he admitted. "Don't let it happen to you." The news hit hard, prompting reflections on choices. Had Tom's denial contributed? Was Santos's openness a better path, despite the backlash? Christmas brought more drama. At the family dinner, smaller now with boycotters absent, Mom announced she and Santos were considering adoption. "We want to give a kid what we gave you," she said. I supported it, but society didn't. When word leaked, online hate surged. "Two gays raising a child? Abuse," comments read. Santos brushed it off, but I saw the strain. One night, he confided, "Sometimes I wonder if blending families like this was selfish."
No, y insista.
It's love, and it's what saved me. The new year brought highs and lows. Ryan and I grew closer, but a campus incident, a hate crime against a trans student, shook us. We marched in solidarity, chanting for change, but the perpetrator faced minimal consequences, fueling debates on justice. Back in Chicago for spring break, I witnessed Santos's activism peak. At a Pride Prep meeting, he rallied volunteers. "We've come far since Stonewall, but regression is real. Fight back with love and logic." Inspired, I spoke at a school event sharing my story. "My gay stepdad gave me the courage to be me. Family isn't blood, it's choice." The speech went viral, positively in progressive circles, controversially elsewhere. Interviews followed, amplifying our narrative. But controversy bred danger. Santos received threats, anonymous calls, vandalized car. Police investigated, but fear lingered. "Is it worth it?" Mom asked tearfully. "Yes," Santos replied. "For Jordan, for others." As summer neared, Ryan proposed a road trip to San Francisco to visit Tom. "Meet your roots," he said. The journey was eye-opening, crossing states with varying acceptance. In conservative areas, we held hands cautiously. In cities, freely. It highlighted America's divides. In SF, Tom and Mark welcomed us warmly. Over dinners, we discussed politics, rights, and personal growth. "I'm sorry for the pain I caused," Tom said, "but seeing you thrive, it's everything." Back at college for sophomore year, I channeled experiences into advocacy, majoring in social work now. Ryan and I volunteered at shelters, helping LGBTQ youth navigate systems stacked against them. Home visits revealed progress. The ordinance was overturned on appeal, a victory Santos celebrated modestly. "Small wins matter," he said, "but personal choices tested bonds." When Ryan and I discussed marriage someday, Mom beamed, but Santos paused. "Society's changing, but be ready for pushback." Indeed, national debates raged, bans on gay adoption in some states, Supreme Court cases on rights. Our family became a microcosm, with relatives slowly thawing. Aunt Linda even apologized, admitting ignorance. Yet, the most profound moment came during a quiet evening at home. Santos pulid me azide. That night years ago, it wasn't just about coming out. It was about choosing authenticity over fear. I nodded, grateful. "You gave me that night, the most important of my life. It set me free." As I reflected on the journey, from secrecy to advocacy, conflicts to connections, I wondered about the broader impact. Our story sparked discussions. Was blending gay histories in families progressive or problematic? Did openness heal or harm? In the end, choices defined us. Tom's regret, Santos's resilience, my emergence. All intertwined in a tapestry of love amid societal storms. Was it right for Santos to reveal the family secrets that night, potentially upending my world, or should such truths remain buried to preserve peace?